So on this page, categorize the objection you just wrote down. You'll notice it says category. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories. Decide which kind of a objection it is. Categorize the one that you just written down. So you wrote down on your card some objection. Decide which category it is on page 4.11. Once you've decided, just go ahead and raise your hand. Okay. Kyle, what category did you pick?
Misconception.
A misconception. Okay, so what's the objection that you heard?
Your funding process is too difficult.
Say it again.
Your funding process is too difficult. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Your funding process is too difficult. Is that a misperception?
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible that it could be genuine?
Yeah.
Right? It could also be, is it possible that it could just be a put-off?
Yeah.
Right? But in his case, the way he heard it, it was a misconception. Let's try another one. So who had another category? Other than one of the three I mentioned. What did you pick?
Hopeless.
Okay. What was the objection that you wrote down?
We don't do subprime customers.
Ah, okay. Is that a hopeless one? How many of us have ever heard that before? Oh, and how many of us have ever sold to a customer who gave us that objection? So in our head it might be hopeless. In reality, maybe it's not hopeless, right? What are we going to do? We've got to kind of ask the questions to try to figure out, get to the bottom of that, right? Does he mean he really doesn't do subprime clients? Or is it about his inventory? What's going on, right? We're going to kind of dive in and understand it better. Make sense? Let's pick one more category. Maybe somebody from Vegas. What's a category that one of you picked?
I had we don't do subprime, and I said it was a payoff, but what did you have?
Don't do subprime.
Heidi, what did you have?
Don't approve anything. Misconception.
Misconception, don't approve anything.
Say the objection again and then say what the category was. One more time.
It was a misconception, and it was dealers fighting approval ratio, so you don't approve anything. But it's not exactly one of our 8.
I didn't hear the objection. What exactly would the client say?
We don't approve anything. We don't approve anything.
You don't approve. Oh, got it. You don't approve anything.
Yes.
So I just wasn't understanding the emphasis correctly. You don't approve anything, right? CPS doesn't approve anything.
Correct.
And you think that's a misconception as well, right? So typically that's the case. All these categories we can work with, except probably hopeless. Is there any hopeless objection?
Yeah, they're going in business.
Okay, so I heard a couple of them here that were like prejudiced and hopeless. Like we said, like maybe they've had a really negative personal experience with CPS in the past, and they just decided not to work with us again. Or their brother-in-law owns another loan company, and they're only going to work with them for subprime, right? That might be prejudice, right? There's other reasons where prejudice comes up, right? But they have some kind of bias against us. Those things we're probably just not going to get through. We're better off just moving on to the next one. Go for it, Vegas. What did you guys say?
Perla was saying that if a dealership turns us off, it's somewhat hopeless, the GM, but that usually means you go higher up in the chain. So.
Okay, fair enough. So I love this, because what we're saying is that 90% of the time, or 99% of the time maybe, it's not hopeless, right? We can work our way through it, and we can work our way through it with the process. Real quick, what's the process again? Just take a look at your hand. What's on your hand?
Ear.
Listen, there you go. That's listen here. And then question, respond, evaluate our trial close, right? Say it with me one more time. It's listen, cushion, question, evaluate, respond, and then trial close. Good? One more time, all together.
Listen, cushion, question, respond, evaluate.
Okay, so you know where we're going next, right? We got to form 4 lines. Let's go ahead and form all our dance partners. Come on up, let's form our lines. Bring your cards with you, please. Bring your cards.